Hey everybody, welcome to Excel video 380. I'm Nate Moore. Just got back from speaking to a meeting in Las Vegas. I'm already booking trips for next year and speaking engagements, and if I haven't spoken to your group lately, I'd love to. I'm going to go back to something I haven't covered since Excel 2007 several years ago. It used to be, before 2007, that tables in Excel really weren't all that great. They weren't all that helpful. They were almost more trouble than they were worth. I really didn't use them until Excel 2007. And I use tables a ton. Pivot tables, which you've seen me do a lot of, are really good for summary data. What I want to do now is look at detailed data, and that's a table rather than a pivot table. I have a bunch of data here around appointments. I know who the patient is, the appointment date and time, who the provider, location, the history of no-shows for this patient, how many times have they no-showed in the past. I've got an AR balance. I know the referral source, the primary insurance. I want to get my arms around upcoming appointments and maybe send some information out to maybe the front desk or the registrar or tell the nursing staff who's coming. I can do a bunch of that with tables. To format data as a table, from the Home tab, click Format as a Table. What Excel will do is it will say, all right, what style of table do you want to use? And let's just pick this one to start with. And then because I clicked inside my table here, Excel's smart enough to look for clean margins. It's going to go out and say, all right, from A1, I'm going to go out and I see data all the way to column I, and then I don't see any data from column J on. So I'm going to assume that my data goes from A to I, and then it's going to go down until it finds blank rows, and it finds that after row 8001, and it automatically gathers that data for me. The reason this automatic gathering of my table data range works is because I don't have a lot of blank rows and columns and cells in my data. My data is clean. Maybe your PM system doesn't always download it clean like that, and you got some cleaning to do to get it like this. But this works because I don't have any blanks going on in my data. And then I'm going to check the box or leave it checked to say my table has headers and we have a table. First thing to notice about a table is that every other row is shaded, and that's based on the table styles that I did here. There are a whole bunch of different options here, and darker shading or lighter shading. If you've spent a lot of time in the past shading a row and then shading the next row and shading the next row, and then they add data and you got to go back and shade it again, no. It's way easier with tables, and all you need to do is click the banded rows button, which was clicked by default. If I turn off banded rows, you see I don't have the shaded rows anymore. I could band the columns if I wanted to, and if that's hard to see, we could do something like this, and it'd be very obvious that my rows are banded versus not banded. But I'm going to go back to here and accept my format as a table. Once I have a table, let me say it that way, once I have a table, as long as I click inside the table, watch this Table Tools menu come up. When I'm outside, Excel thinks I don't need it. When I'm inside the table, I get it. The other thing you need to know is I've loaded a bunch of additional tools here that are on the Analyze tab that typically don't show up in most installations of Excel. You have to connect your data to SQL Server and analysis services. There's a bunch that's going on with this tab. We're not going to spend time there. For most installations, you're just going to see the Design tab, and that's where we're going to play. That's the basics of a table. That's how to set it up. There are a bunch of drop-down options underneath here that we can play with. There are some other formatting things and controls up here we're going to talk about. We'll start through all that next time. Thanks for watching.